Hi everyone, my name is AJ Wills and welcome back to Koforidua Today, the third edition. Last week we brought you the finance aspect of COVID-19 and Koforidua Today. Today we are bringing you the media aspect of Koforidua Today, whereby we try to interview the media people to know how the COVID-19 has affected them in various ways, because this pandemic is really wreaking havoc everywhere. So at this moment we are at Bryt Fm to talk to the team and the workers all over here to know how it's going. But first of all, we'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, Profile Food Tom Brown, the best Tom Brown you can have. Trust me, you will need this in these COVID times. You will need Tom Brown. Easy to go. Sometimes you can even take it without even boiling it or cooking it. It's just direct. And we have another special product called Split Sobolo. In fact, I've tested it, but it's really tasty and nice, and I entreat you guys to try Split Sobolo. All these products are from the Eastern region, not Accra. So as I said, Koforidua Today, we're bringing you things that are trending in the Eastern region, programs that are trending in the Eastern region, so that we talk about the Eastern region and project it out there. So I have with me my guest, JahSolo, DJ JahSolo, the gentle DJ of Bryt FM. So welcome, my boss.
Thank you, AJ.
This is Koforidua Today.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Third edition, right?
Yeah, third edition.
Wow. I think I'm privileged to be here.
Yeah, we thank God. We thank God that we called you and you accepted our invitation to come. So first of all, before we continue, can you introduce yourself to our guests?
Okay. So my name is Oakley Kofi Solomon. A Krobo who can speak the language. That's very bad. I know, because when people hear the name Oakley,
they start speaking.
Yeah, it's a big name. It means it's big. Or Agbo.
Agbo.
Yeah. So, but now everybody calls me DJ JahSolo. Some of
That's
the
your
core
trademark.
fans, the core fans decided to call me the gentle DJ. I don't know why, but that's
Be a gentle.
so. So basically, that is it. A broadcaster. I've tried. We've gone past some few years and we're still going on. I love what I do, and I thank God I'm here today.
Yeah, we thank God. He thanks God he's here today. So first of all, how long have you been in the media space in the Eastern region?
Okay, so I was trying to avoid that in my intro,
Oh,
but
definitely
you still
to
want to
come.
do this. We've done more than 9 years. I think you're in the 10th year already.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got into this in 2009 when I was pursuing my HND accountancy at Koforidua Polytechnic, now Koforidua Technical University. That's when I got into the media, thanks to Agodogo's Way, who gave me the opportunity to be on Poly FM back then, starting with the reggae show, and that's what brought the name JahSolo.
JahSolo.
Yeah, and I think it's worked for us, and here we are. So we've done 10 years already.
Wow, 10 years in the industry. So I think you are in the right position to answer some of the questions that we might ask, because it's pertaining to the media and the Eastern region. So my first question is, we all know how this COVID-19 just took the country or the whole world at a sweep, where now things are on a standstill, businesses are collapsing, those who cannot revive their businesses are facing difficulties to revive their businesses. So we know that it has affected different sectors of the country and the world, especially when it comes to finance, economy, and everything, including the creative arts, which is the media and everything. So what is your take on this coronavirus, first of all?
Well, I think we didn't prepare for this, and 2020, as part of our plans as individuals and corporate society, nobody thought we were going to be hit by a pandemic which will put the world at a standstill. It's terrible looking at the number of deaths recorded, and how a lot of things have come to a standstill, affecting businesses, lives, and generally everything. It's one thing that I wish I wake up one morning and
it's gone.
Yeah, So we have nothing like COVID-19 because, frankly speaking, it's really bad. You listen to the news and the sort of people who have been infected every day. I mean, the number of people and even the class of people who have been infected every day. What saddens me is the, theories around it.
So many theories.
Yes.
So many.
And a lot of people tend not to accept the fact that this is real and it is here with us. You tell them to do this, they will start quoting Bible from Genesis to Revelation, telling you.
I know that feeling.
All those stuff, but hey, you don't love God more than any of us.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, on that note, yes, coronavirus is very bad, and I think it has affected everyone, including me, myself. Everyone, because it's not making things flow the way they used to be.
Yeah.
People had plans for the year, and it has
unless you want to close your eyes and
do behave like it's not up.
Yeah.
Then you die early then.
Yeah, because no matter what you do, it will affect you. Yes, because if you are a transport owner, you feel it.
Feel it.
Yes. Your driver comes home, and if previously they were doing 50 cedis sales or 40 cedis sales, now they are doing 30 cedis.
Yeah.
And
it's affecting
everything. Everything is being on the low. A friend of mine has put his car on sale, and for the past 2 weeks he's had only 2 phone calls.
Yeah,
so you can imagine.
Money.
Yeah. I mean, people are not willing to buy certain stuff they would have bought
before.
Yes. I mean, if I buy a taxi now, what business am I going to do with it? Especially now that most people are not traveling. People are scared to get out because they're observing the stay home protocols. And thanks to the technology, most people are working from home.
Yes.
So unless you want to close your eyes and say that, this thing is not really doing anything, then that is it. If not, it's really bad. It's hitting us.
All right. Then coming to the next question. The media space drives on entertainment, drives on news of the entertainment world, news from different aspects of the country or the society and everything. And that is where I think we derive most of our news and everything from. And that's where we derive most of our resources from, because people have to come and sponsor some shows and promote their businesses on air and stuff. How has this really affected the media space, especially in context with the Eastern region?
The impact has been, or the effect has been, negative. I should say, because this is what we are in July, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and by July, most events houses are putting out their proposals and reaching out to us for collaborations and all that. We get phone calls every now and then, previous years, and in times like this, heading towards the end of the year as well. But these proposals are not coming anymore, because if even you want to put out something, now sponsors are not forthcoming, because they are not making a lot of sales. And since May, when the president announced the lockdown and all these measures and all that, it has affected everything. So and most programs are running without sponsorship, because gone were the years or the few months before where you have a sponsor who will bring you some money, and they're making this money out of sales and all that. Now sales has gone down. So if previously they were paying, say, 5,000 cedis for a month, you have to bargain with them. And if they are willing, you are willing to accept what they want to give you, then you can continue doing business. If not, then you have to run your program without a sponsor. Even that, how many will be able to continue without sponsorship on the budget they are even bringing? Assuming things continue to be as they are. So the effect, nobody can close their eyes on what's happening. But if most people will tell you, most radio stations are not being able to pay their staff, and there are a lot of obligations on the part of management. I guess if you speak to the management team, they will tell you a lot of things they have to pay. You have to pay some things to NCA, and One thing that remains constant is electricity.
Electricity, you need to pay bills.
Yes, thanks to the president who gave a 3 months waiver. But we are in July now.
We are in July, it's almost over.
Yeah, unless he comes to tell us something else. But bills are there to be paid.
Yeah.
Salaries, haven't gone down.
Gone down, yeah.
Even if some workers or staff of a particular radio station have been asked to sit home, they are working from home because they will do their mixtapes and send to the radio stations for it to be played.
Yeah.
And that's the strategy most radio stations are adapting now. The DJs will do the mixtapes, say 4 hours, yes, and then so they have to be paid. So you realize that salaries have to be paid and it's constant. Electricity bills have to, NCA has to do their thing. If you've insured some of your properties,
you have to pay
insurance. It's constant. And the air, programs have to run. You have to bring resource persons, and don't forget that as part of the measures or the protocols, you have to provide things you wouldn't have provided
before.
Yes,
the vertical buckets,
exactly.
the sanitizers,
and hand
sanitizers,
thermometer, even the
thermometer gun and everything.
Good. You have to get all that, which prior to 2020, no institution did budget for this. You see, and so the effect, guy,
is dire.
I just wish after this interview, wake up one morning.
Then it's over, right? Oh, that's a prayer. I think that's a prayer of everyone. That you're best sorry and open. I think things have gone down, but I don't think things are going down anytime soon.
Yeah, especially monitoring the news and the number of cases that are being reported every day.
Every day, yeah.
And from my experience, even the figures coming out are not what. If we say 400 new cases arrived today, these are not figures from yesterday.
No.
Because I know people who have done tests for the past 2 weeks, or some institutions who have been tested 2 weeks ago, and the results are not in.
So that means they are powered up results. Yeah. So we are in for a lot of surprises.
So you can imagine day in, day out, people are being tested.
Yeah.
And here we are, and from where I sit, I know that there's a pile of
people
of 2 weeks results from 2 weeks before this, which hasn't been released. The numbers will keep going up, but thankfully, I think that the number of active cases are a bit on the low, but it will keep spreading. Because if I'm tested today, I mean, let me just digress a bit. If I'm tested today and I'm asked to wait for my result, mostly you'll be asked to go under quarantine when you're isolation or something. Yes, for the 2 weeks. But if I'm being tested today and nobody enforces the quarantine on me, and I keep going out,
and it keeps spreading,
and in 2 weeks the results comes out and I'm positive, you can imagine the number of people have infected, and those people will also keep infecting, so and you have to wait for another 2 weeks.
They spread, it will
spread unless they say now it
Nice one. All right. So as we continue, I think I'd just like to acknowledge our sponsors once again, Split So Below and Profit Food on Brown, who have been so generous with us and keep sponsoring Koforidua Today. So if you're out there, I entreat you guys to try it out. They are located in every shop and every supermarket or mall. And not forgetting our dear big partners, RNF Photos, who have always been there for us since day one. The other crew is not in, but RNF Photos is here to hold us down. So as I said, JahSolo.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the impact of COVID-19 on the media and its revenue, affecting revenue and everything, what are some of the measures that let's say the institutions of the media, let me go straight to the regulators first of all, then I come to the individual media houses. What are some of the measures the regulator, the NCA, has put in place for the media for them to be able to combat or help in many ways of making the COVID not affect the media houses the way it's supposed to affect it? Then secondly, the next question is, how has these, like let me say Bryt Fm in particular, what are the measures they've also put in place to help to still keep Bryt Fm running, even though we know that there's no revenue coming like before? They need to pay salaries, they need to pay electricity bills and all those things. What are some of these measures they've put in place to still keep the studio running?
Okay, so let me start by answering the question from where I am now in Bryt FM. I mean, when you were coming, you saw the Veronica buckets outside,
sure.
so you wash your hands before you get in. Thankfully, our mother company, Joy Industries, produces hand sanitizers, so we have a lot of them here where we make sure most of our staff get it done. I mean, sanitize their hands, and when guests are coming in, you have to put on your nose mask. I mean, we are here without it because you were coming. We had it, and of course, there's a 1 meter distance.
More than 1 meter
between us. So yes, and if you show signs, let me just say this: if you show signs of cough, sneeze, and all those stuff, you just have to know that, Charlie. And that's let me tell you this: some of our staff are home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because they showed signs
of
yes,
that.
Yes. So they have to be home. That's why you get here. How many people did you see?
Yeah, I didn't see anyone.
Good.
Yeah.
And we've reduced the staff
that works in a day.
Yes.
So is that you're running on a rotation basis?
Yes, on rotations.
Okay.
So we've reduced the number of people here. So if you come, for example, if I come to work, I mostly spend more than 8 hours in the office.
Almost the whole day.
Yes. So that you don't step out and be coming,
bring in the
yes, and so that you don't get into contact with a lot of people as well. As I'm here now, if this was my duty line, I'll be here till 10 p.m. So I'm here, nobody comes in. And when I'm off, I'm off.
Oh, you're off.
Yes. See, the next day I'm not supposed to be here, then someone also takes over.
Okay.
And so these are some of the measures. But looking at, asking from the side of the regulators. Well, I don't know what communication has gone on between the NCA and management. I'm not part of management. So I don't know. I can't really tell what NCA in particular is doing for the radio stations to make sure they are doing something extraordinary to protect its staff and its guests from catching the virus. Besides what the station has done that I've seen, and I it's public knowledge that it was announced that all institutions must make sure they provide
the necessary.
Yes. From the side of the NCA, I can't really tell what they are doing much.
All right. So in terms of Koforidua, with the spread of the virus now, do you think the measures that our leaders in the region have put in place are enough to combat the virus, and are we even adhering to these rules?
Koforidua, and when you step to town here, you see that a lot of people are not wearing the nose mask. A lot of people. I've been to few places during this time, banks, pharmacies, and most of them are doing well. Almost for the banks, all the banks, every bank I've entered during this few months, you can't get in without, washing your hands and not putting on your nose mask. If you don't have a nose mask,
they're not allowing
no, you can't get in. But I don't know what's wrong with most of us, the citizenry. The last time I was walking in between what's the name? Freedom Stores, in my nose mask, and I was with a colleague. We were both in our nose mask. Few people were also. There was this guy sitting in front of his shop. All he said was, "I didn't wear a bomb one. No, we actually nose mask." Can you imagine putting on nose mask?
And funny,
no, you see, sometimes when our leaders speak out of anger and all that, you have to understand. I met one friend, actually, it's like you when you are giving out the COVID-19 thing on radio, you are a bit soft. Put some fear in them.
So I was coming to that.
Yeah.
That as a media house, what is your role in helping people understand that they need to take precautionary measures to safeguard their own lives? Because I think it dawns on you, the media, Bryt FM, to be able to reach out to masses because you have listenership. So what are the measures you guys have put in place that you think these measures are helping the individuals, especially the market women, the taxi drivers, those people who are just walking about in town, are adhering to it? What measures are you putting in place?
So besides, talking about it on radio and giving people the figures, I know the mid-morning show, the host, RMC, almost every now and then she gives out the figures, updates on the figures, and continue to mention how to observe the protocols. And they are even, we've done, voiceovers from the presenters, and that is being played almost every now and then on our networks. And so to tell the listeners that, hey, please keep safe. We plead in the voiceovers. It's not to put fear in anybody, but to make sure that just be on the safer side, And I made mention of the nose mask as well. I know in some days ahead, people will start seeing Bryt FM in town, because I've heard there's a collaboration between Calvary Presby Church here in Nsukwao and Bryt FM are coming together to share some nose mask to the people of Koforidua. As I said, people are not wearing this. And I don't know whether it's the 2 cities they are giving out that's a problem, because somewhere, I think 2 months back, there was a donation by one of the record labels,
Ghetto Records,
yes, they distributed some 200 or so nose masks in town. And from the report I got, they didn't spend 10-20 minutes at Total 2, where they decided to stand and do the distribution.
Quickly.
Yes. So it seems people want it,
but they don't want to buy.
Exactly. So this is one thing that I know that the station is doing for. In the coming days, we'll be doing for people, and I would like to plead with everybody out there who can help provide this nose mask. If you're a seamstress, you are, now they call them fashion designers.
Fashion designers, yes, please.
So design something, collaborate with us, Bryt Fm, and let's do the distribution. Let a lot of people have it and wear it. So,
all right, that's very clear. I think we if we all join hands in making this happen, the Eastern region can save itself from the widespread of.
Yes, because when it happened over a month or so, there was no case of COVID-19 in the region.
It took time.
Yes, and now from what I'm hearing,
it's going high.
Yes, and we have, let me say this, in New Japan South, where we are Koforidua here, over 5 people have died from COVID-19.
Amazing.
Yes, I spoke to one health director on Wednesday on the health program on Bryt FM, and he said it, that people think that, you see, when we mention the national figures, that 23,000 people have COVID-19. We don't take time to break it down.
For people to understand.
Yes, to know that where I'm living,
it's also a risk.
There's the COVID-19 here. 5 people have died in New Japan South.
Wow.
And New Japan South is Koforidua. If you are senior, so and it's Koforidua. So you can imagine. And so these 5 people who died, how long did it take them to die? Whom did they come into contact with before they died? And the people they came into contact with.
Oh, so did they come in contact with?
So you can imagine. Yes, so we have to let people understand. So let me just speak with everybody who can provide. If it's 2 cities and you can provide 10, that's 20 cities. Charlie, we will pile it up and share it to the people.
I think it's a nice initiative. We should also talk to the law enforcement to also enforce the law.
Exactly.
Because it's like they are being lakadaska in doing that. They are like, which is also affecting.
Because in our constitution, there are a lot of laws sitting in our constitution that are not being enforced. There's even a mosquito, lava law.
Okay.
Yes. Where if you leave water, stagnant water,
for a while, you can be arrested for that.
Yes.
We don't know.
There are a lot of laws in
we don't enforce them.
Exactly. And it's almost a month since the president signed that if you are caught without the nose mask, a minimum of 12,000 cedis and a maximum of 60,000 cedis, or you can go to jail for 10 years. Today, I heard some people in Kumasi, over 50 people in Kumasi were being arraigned before court for not wearing nose mask. Why should it be? Because of 2 cedis.
2 cedis. Anyway, Koforidua today is becoming interesting. If we continue like this, we'll keep talking. But anyway, what is the way forward for the media in this pandemic? Because I know people are adapting, companies are adapting to the new trends. Now, digital is the word, and has become the new normal. Okay, so what is the way forward for the media in the Eastern region in terms of this COVID-19?
I believe the use of technology has to be really looked at, and we can't joke with it. As I said, now people don't, here at Bryt Fm, the staff has been reduced, but we're still running full capacity. If you are home and you don't take time, you might not know. And Jordan Multimedia is operating 2 stations in Koforidua, Bryt Fm and AB 94.9, and both stations are running. Moving forward, I've seen some media houses in Accra, use the Zoom, where newscasters are home and are casting the news from home. Radio stations have what they also have to do. You can record your program, or if it's a talk show, you can record it from home and mail it. Yes, mail it to technicians or whoever is around to play it. The use of social media as well. Yes, the program can be beamed through Facebook Live and will be connected on air. There are a lot of ways to do this. One thing that affects our region it's going outside the box. Maybe because technology involves money. Because if you really want to be the best, as Bryt FM has been over the years, and keep setting the pace, it really involves a lot of investment. And I think we have to concentrate much more on that, because we don't know what will happen next. Yes, of course, we pray that this happens. I mean, this will be the last pandemic. Hopefully.
I don't think this is the last. It keeps coming.
I'm just saying, because the 1918, Spanish flu.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody who survived that is still alive today. And this is 1918 we're talking about.
But another one will come.
And hopefully
we are not around.
We'll be gone. So once we are, in this our generation,
we don't want to.
I pray that there wouldn't be any pandemic, that will hit us.
We all pray
but whilst we wait for that, let's look at how to use technology more. Because I always say this: there's a lot of numbers sitting in social media. Mostly, you'll be on air. Even myself, I hardly listen to radio when I'm off the studio. Unless I really want to monitor something. And sometimes you wouldn't know who is on there until you go on Facebook. Or someone's WhatsApp status or Twitter, and you see the person has posted, "Hey, I'm going to be on air between this time and this time." So, okay, before you listen. So let's take advantage of this. There's a lot of numbers. If I do my live video and I end and I'm reaching about 400 people within an hour or two. It should tell you that, Charlie, we can do more. So I will employ all the managers to look at that. Unfortunately, some of them, you see, let me say this: some of them, when they see the numbers, the number of people who have watched your video, they go like, "Akwe but where does this guy work? He works with this station. Yes. Oh wow. A connection. So the managers have to look at that and let's push ourselves up.
Well, thank you so much. All right, this is Koforidua Today once again. We're still on the show with Bryt FM and our dear brother DJ JahSolo, the gentle DJ. As I said, we're talking about COVID-19 and its effect on the media houses and how the media houses are trying to put themselves together and able to combat or fight this pandemic and still remain relevant and still make sure they're able to reach out to their clients and their customers and everyone and still pay bills at the same time. So these are strategies that we're trying to talk about, how the effect and the way forward in terms of the COVID-19 base, how it has affected the media houses and everything. So we're still here with our dear brother JahSolo. So our final question is, we always talk about the media, Eastern region media, because in COVID-19 like this, I think there's a time where we need unity to fight it, okay? Because I know that, for example, the banks, they're united. They have one say they have one goal, is to make sure they live up to the expectations of the government, ensure the rules and protocols are in place, put in new measures, put in new devices, technological wise and everything. So they are one, even though they are separate individuals or entities, but they are one at the same time, because they are all looking at a common goal to fight it so that their clients remain alive and still bank with them.
Right.
Now, when it comes to the media, how united are the media in the Eastern region, and how well are they coming together to enforce that, hey, let's fight COVID-19 as a media house in the Eastern region?
I think it's basically about, you know, projecting the news out there, making sure that the people who listen to us stay alive for us.
Yeah.
Because what determines how good you are is the market share.
The market share. Yes.
So you can imagine if most of the people in your catchment area have caught this virus and most of them have died, whilst you had a radio station to tell them how to be safe,
Yeah.
and you couldn't do it, it will come out to affect you. Because in the end, the people you're advertising their, you know, products, because basically that's what we do. We sell.
Yeah, you sell.
Well,
Market.
Yes. Products and services. So if in the end the people you are selling for are not getting the numbers, I don't think you get it. So if you ask me, I believe we are very united.
Okay.
To get this done, because I am on some platforms, that the WhatsApp platforms, that we keep talking about this, Charlie. We have to keep telling them what to do and get the authorities to respond to questions
Yeah.
when they need be. The NCC have to do what they have to do, so we link up. If there's someone has to come from Bryt to do a radio tour and tell us what to do, we have to do that. So that when the person comes to Bryt FM, from Bryt FM, I can link up with someone in Mac FM or someone on Taste FM to have that resource person and speak with. Because if it were to be a promotion, a music promo, we would have shared it amongst ourselves. So we are doing that. We're trying our very best to make sure that everyone or every radio station is doing this, education okay. for its listeners and to its catchment area.
All right, and I believe in unity, because if you're united in the forefront, it's difficult for the enemy to penetrate.
Of course.
So once we become united, I believe that we can all fight it. And Koforidua Today is part of now the media in the Eastern region. So we're also going to use our platforms to also educate and push. That is the main reason why we're having the Koforidua Today, to tackle issues that are affecting the various sectors of the economy in the Eastern region, so that people will understand the diverse effect of the COVID and know ways and means they can come out of it and still remain relevant. So in wrapping up, what are your last final words or message to the listeners out there?
Okay. I believe that this conversation has basically been about COVID-19. So what I would say is, to everybody out there watching us and listening to us, please make sure you stay safe and you practice everything we've told you to do with regards to the COVID-19 protocols, being it washing of hands regularly under running water with soap, using the hand sanitizers often, and wearing your nose mask, observing the social distance thing. And one more thing, let's not stigmatize.
Yes.
If you get wind of the fact that someone has COVID-19 or had COVID-19 and has recovered, that means the person can't spread it to you. All you need to do is just observe the protocols. If the person was once a COVID-19 patient, wear your nose mask, speak with the person, or make sure he or she wears.
Interact with the person.
Make sure he or she wears his or her nose mask and get interactive. observe social distancing, and I believe we will be fine, because as we sit now, I see COVID-19 as a flu or catarrh.
It has come to stay.
Yes. So same way, if someone has a flu in this room and if he or she sneezes, it's possible that we will catch
it. Same
way as COVID-19. Yet we've lived with catarrh for how many years?
Oh, uncountable.
Exactly. So this is it. We have what you can do to stay safe. So let's do that, and let's stop the stigmatization. It's really bad. It's really killing a lot of people.
Yes. I think it's even killing people more than the COVID.
It can.
Because if you stigmatize and I cannot associate, I cannot go out, I cannot buy anything. Some people, I have even heard worse stories whereby people reject people with COVID-19's money. You understand? So how are they going to survive? How are they going to live?
It's lack of education. You get it? It's lack of education. Let me just say this. You know, the Quantum Common Base of Science and Technology case, which people thought, or according to the report we had, they thought or suspected the child had COVID-19. But listen, if it were to be me, I would have held the child, because I have this education that even if I contract COVID-19,
I'll be okay.
I will still get treatment and be well. How many people have died out of COVID-19? Out of the 23,000 people, 129.
120, not even up to 200.
What's the percentage?
That's 0.0 something.
You get it? So I would have held the child or called the ambulance
to come and pick the child.
Yes.
Then later you go for your treatment.
Exactly. How many weeks? 2 weeks. A friend of mine told me, "Charlie, my mom told me," because he's had all these symptoms, loss of smell, being weak, but you know, just eat well, you know.
Stay well.
Yes. Boost your immune system, and just get going. Hey, let me say thanks to you guys as well, and welcome. I mean, AJ Wills and your team.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's good. We need to have everybody on board to push Koforidua and Eastern Region to the world as well. And hey, anytime you're ready, we are ready.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, how do people reach out to you, JahSolo, in case they have to reach out to you?
On social media, at JahSolo GH, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
JahSolo GH.
Yes. You can get on my personal account. It's Okle Kofi Solomon on Facebook. But besides that, my pages are always active. WhatsApp. I mean, no, not WhatsApp. That one I can't sleep. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Yeah, it's at JahSolo GH.
All right. DJ JahSolo, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for this session. We enjoyed it, and we are really grateful for your insight and education in terms of the media and how the COVID has affected the media and the ways forward for everyone. So, listeners, as we said, we promised to bring you another captivating interview with the media, and there are more to come. So my name is AJ Wills, but before we sign out, as I said, don't forget to go in for your profile photo on Browns. Don't forget to go for your split sobolo. All this product and amazing packaging are all from the Eastern region. So as I said, the Eastern region is capable and it's a business hub. And we have bright minds here in the region that can do much more. And thanks to our able crew, RNF Photos, trust me, if you need any photography, if you need any shots, any event, they are ready to cover it for you at any time, any day. And our beloved dear model, Feather Model, who has joined us and who's part of the crew, and we keep pushing her brand also. So thank you, everyone. See you next week for the next episode of Koforidua Today. Bless you.